Hello, friends. Thank you all for joining us here today. We will do our usual moment or two, just as we allow some of our additional friends to join in, to liberate themselves from previous calls, get the coffees, the waters, whatever's going to keep you going for the next little bit. Hopefully, Alex and I have some pretty fun stuff, or what we think is pretty fun stuff. I'm going to talk about for the next little bit, and
some exciting
Alex,
stuff.
exciting. It's all exciting. Change in general is always so fun.
Yeah, I think you were gonna prompt me for like some sort of trivia or something. Is that what?
It's half the reason I show up to these. So yeah, I definitely want to hear what's top of mind and the weird mind of Alex.
Okay, well, this time we're going to move away from ancient Rome and other antiquities-related trivia. This is something that actually came out this week that I still can't wrap my head around. Apparently, since the 1970s, humans have pumped too much groundwater, like from the aquifers, for like agriculture and things like that. So much so, I think they said they had something like 3,195 gigatons of water have been pumped out, and that water was concentrated, under the Earth's surface in certain continents, and now it's kind of been released in the ocean. So since 1970, that has had the effect of actually tilting the Earth's axis. You heard about that?
Yeah, I saw that.
31 inches eastward. What does that actually mean? I don't know, but ever since I found out about that, and then the weather that we've had here in Quebec, the non-weather, and everything that's been happening, like droughts and things like that, and like the Atlantic, like the Atlantic Ocean has never been warmer since they've tracked those. I'm like, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it's why. I don't know, but it's exciting, but in a different way.
Yeah, similar to it's like how I feel about AI, like really, really cool and really good to know. It's just what do we do next is always what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Alex, stop drinking so much darn water, and everything's going to be fine. You as an individual, your 8 cups a day are obviously the problem.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you need extra water, we have a ton here in Quebec. We've been getting massive amounts of rain.
It's true, yeah, and we do have lots of freshwater lakes and lots of good stuff.
Yeah, the Lake Superior, which is Ontario, holds 10% of the world's freshwater reserves.
Man, I was just in there last week.
Yep.
So cool. So I'm sorry for what my kids may have done in there.
It's an inland sea.
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive. It was beautiful, and the water was actually warm enough considering it was June or very early June at the time. Wonderful. All right, folks. Sorry to keep you waiting there. I just love hearing what's top of mind. Alex always keeps me honest and keeps me smarter than I probably would be without him. So that being said, once again, thank you all for taking some time, for making some room in your day for us. Let me see, the attendees are climbing here. The attendance is climbing. So again, thank you all once last time, and I'll get going. Welcome to Microsoft this month. This is a quick update as to all the cool things that Microsoft has been up to, that they will be up to, and definitely hand in hand with Sherweb, as obviously we're really proud to be supporters of a great company, a great product like this, or series of products like these. So Microsoft this month was born, and here we are in June 2023 already. For those who are maybe just first time joining us, or maybe newer to the Microsoft partnership or the Sherweb partnership whatsoever, I'll present to you Alex and myself. So I am, you guessed it, the picture at the top here is James. So I'm the product sales manager for productivity here at Sherweb, so Microsoft and that other productivity solution that we proudly support. And then Alex LaFlamme.
Yeah, myself, I'm the Microsoft Partner Program and Incentives Manager at Sherweb. I've had that title for almost 2 years now, which is why I can say it in one breath.
I was going to say, yeah.
Pretty good. And my only focus is Microsoft. I don't partake in anything else other than to see what's going on with the competition and what they're doing. And I do find that it is a very exciting time right now to be in this sector because of all the innovations and advances and the promises of what's to come.
Yeah, more opportunities, both from a sales perspective, because I'm kind of greedy, but also the ability to help our partners to help make a difference, right? To actually impact the lives of many. And again, leveraging the right tools is kind of the simple way through.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. All right, so here's a little bit about us. Just again, for those who don't know, we probably could have done Sherweb than us. The thing Sherweb is slightly more important, but nonetheless, who is Sherweb? Who gives us these really cool, fancy blue shirts and blue jackets on the back of my chair here? Well, that's Sherweb. So we're a company that is coming up on 25 years now in business, born in the cloud. We have the privilege to work with over 7,500 partners. And I'll even go as far as to say these are active partners, so actives who've transacted in a reasonably near past. Also, very proud to boast 1,400 employees. I'm just over 4 years here at Sherweb. When I came in, we were just above 650 at the time. So steadily growing. Again, by working with partners, by staying more in tune with you, with your ambitions, is really the only way forward for us. And collectively, so this being between our partners and ourselves, we really do have the honor of serving and of making a difference in over 100,000 customer organizations. So again, thank you all for all your support, for all your dedication to the channel, and thanks to my colleagues, Alex especially here included, for all the great work that we get to do in terms of supporting you, supporting them, supporting their customers, their businesses, their families, and so on.
Yeah. Even when it's very difficult cases, support cases.
Yeah, we're here
there
for all of it. Yeah, good, bad, and the ugly. But no, generally it ends all really quite well. We also like to say that we're much more than a marketplace, so definitely you can look to us for any of your IT needs when it comes to primarily SaaS solutions. Absolutely, but much more, right? Like a license is a license is a license. Wherever you get that from, it's shades of gray. What we're proud to do is to really wrap that with value, right? So you hear this a lot of a VAR, value added distributor, reseller, or other. Um, Great talking points, but I think living it is really what keeps me at Sherweb, quite honestly, and really why I love to be part of this team. So we actually do it. We'll do deployments, we'll do migrations, we're bringing on new products seemingly every couple of weeks or months here to better support and to better wrap your offering. So whether that's integrations with your billing platforms, your ticketing systems, offering outsourced help desk, essentially anywhere that your business could be running into a roadblock or any type of struggle. If we don't have a solution for you in place today, I can definitely assure you it's in the pipeline. It's all our executive team thinks and talks to us about, or thinks about. They talk to us about a lot of stuff, but all that they think about is really how can we do more. Again, a license is a license, a license. Being undercut by 10 cents isn't a game anyone really wants to get into. But how can we stand out? How can we do more with less, proverbially? And we're definitely always looking to improve upon that.
Yeah, and I think that today is going to be a little bit of a showcasing the insights that we can bring with some of the new products and announcements from Microsoft as well. So it's kind of giving partners a little idea, especially like non-partners that are either here now or watching it later. What type of role we want to play in their business.
Absolutely. So yeah, so we'll get right in here. So exactly that, right? So what's news? What's happening there in terms of staying ahead? Like Alex mentioned, like how can we, get the most out of what we're up to here? And then lastly, just the upcoming events. So just more resources for you where we can connect. So whether that be Alex, myself, or our very extended team, we're always looking to make new connections, make new friends. Essentially, I've been on the road a little bit lately, and again, business is business, like license is a license, but doing business with people you like, building these relationships, and not just kind of what do you want to sell, but really like how do you want to go about selling that? Like what is it that's missing? We can help you kick over these rocks. That often even come in and fill that right back in with a solution on the other side. So yeah, we'll get to that in just a moment. In terms of housekeeping, so the usual points to mention here. So this session will be recorded. The deck will be shared as well. So you'll be able to play back the video at a later date, as well as view any of the collateral and access any of the links that we have as part of the presentation today. We also do have, we call it Playbook, kind of affectionately internally here, but we do have our partner toolbox, where there is a ton of collateral available, as well as our knowledge network, which is a repository of various presentations, training events, and other that we've put together over the years. My favorite part of this whole slide here is ask questions anytime. So any thoughts, any questions, any feedback, again, keep us honest. Alex and I are some guys on the screen right now, but we're just human. We just want to do better. We genuinely and actually care. If you see us in our off hours, chances are we're going to be as enthused. So do chime in. Give your 2 cents, your thoughts, your feedback, and definitely questions. If there's anything that's gray, we'd love to help simplify and just clarify the cloud here for you. That being said, I'll let Alex kind of take us through the first section today in terms of news and updates. And
Yep. So thanks, James. So for this one, it really is an update. It is on DAP to GDAP, which we've covered, I think, for almost a year now, as to the different changes and the different dates from Microsoft. So again, in a nutshell, in the Partner Center, there was the option to have delegated admin privileges, which is DAP, which allowed you to access your end customer tenants as a global admin, as long as you had that relationship and the admin agent role. It was too permissive. It was too easy to kind of focus on that as a vector of attack for bad actors. So Microsoft introduced granular delegated admin privileges, which is, as you might have guessed it, a much more granular approach to having those permissions. So instead of being a global admin, you now have to choose which admin roles you want to have in the end customer tenant, and there is an expiration date, so a maximum of 2 years on this. So as far as the updates are concerned, I think it's on the next slide. Well, so this is what I've just covered. Why do the transition, right? Because it is more secure, it is better, and it is more compliant. It's just, for example, some partners that weren't using any of this at all had global admin credentials for their end customer tenants, and then all of the techs internally would use things like IT glue or other gymnastics to kind of share those logins, to be able to help customers. So it wasn't, to do anything bad, but it was, the way they were working. Well, if there was any type of breach or incident, it was very, very hard to pinpoint, who did it, which of the techs did it, because it would just have been, admin one or whatnot. And with all the things about cyber insurance and things like that, a claim could have been denied because of the fact that you were sharing those credentials, which is against the practices from Microsoft. So do check out DAP or GDAP now. As far as what Microsoft is doing, they have started to transition certain customers, especially the inactive ones. As far as what you can do right now as a partner, I would say get familiar with what kind of roles you're using in DAP. If it's something very specific, for example, if you are a SharePoint developer, well, the SharePoint admin role is something that you're going to want to have. Potentially even some other admin roles, that kind of link everything together. So do test those things out while you can, because as of September, whenever Microsoft finishes their transition, any new customer that you want to add, any new relationship, is going to have the new default roles, which I believe are on the next slide.
Whoa, sorry
Forward.
about that. My mouse wheel is going crazy right now. Sorry about that. So excited.
There we go. So as of September, whenever you want to send a customer relationship, instead of having just DAP with a check mark, these are the roles that you're going to be given. As you can kind of imagine, these are the basic, most just-in-time, just enough access type of roles to do license management, password reset, MFA enablement, like the most level 1 tech options. But you do also have the privilege role administrator and privilege authentication administrator, meaning that if you have at least 2 people internally, you can elevate your permissions to have a temporary global admin from that. What I've been telling most partners is, again, if you're doing something very, very specific, do try to learn, which which type of GDAP relationship you need to have with your end customer tenants to continue working that way. But if what you were doing was just a basic admin, your text was just going there as level ones, level twos. For anything else, you did have that break class emergency global admin account. You probably don't need to do anything. You just wait until September, and then you'll see these roles, just kind of come in. Your admin agent permission will grant you these roles, and help desk will give you just the ticket option, the help desk admin option. So hopefully that makes sense. It's again, we have tons and tons of guides on this and videos. There's lots of documentation from Microsoft, but unless you're doing something very specific, you just want to kind of go with the flow and wait for that transition to come. Just be aware that as of September, this is what it's going to look like.
Super cool. Yeah. And like Alex mentioned, so we do have in our partner toolbox, we do have a guide that we put together. I say we, but Alex and the team did put together that is really quite complete. And there too, right, is touching back to that value add that we like to bring. Reach out if any of that's great. If you skim through the guide and it's still kind of sideways for you, not to worry. It's honestly, it's what Alex and I get to and our team again collectively here get to do is help simplify and make sense of all of it. So be aware, don't be scared, but do reach out if anything is concerning for you. More good news.
Multi-Geo is now available in CSP. So Multi-Geo for pretty much everyone other than industry insiders who have been waiting forever for this option, is a feature that allows you to pin certain users on certain geographies. For example, you could have a US tenant because it's based in New York City, but you have some workers that are working out of London, England. In England, you need to have GDPR compliance, which means that all of the data must stay there. Historically, you had to have two tenants, or you had to have the tenant based in England, and then have just some sort of kind of limited access for the US tenant and things like that. And it was difficult to say the least. With Multi-Geo, you can specify which users are in which location, and it does come with the three options, 1 year paid monthly, paid annually, or the trial subscription. But one thing that is very, very important about this is the fact that it does have a specific requirement to keep a ratio of those add-ons to be equal to or greater than 5% of the total users in the account. So if you have 100 users and you want Multi-Geo, you need to have at least 5 users that have Multi-Geo enabled. If you have 300 users, you need to have at least 15, and so forth and so on. So if you have some end customers that have been waiting for this to be compliant, to kind of merge some tenants and things like that, do reach out to us. It is like all new features from Microsoft early on, it's a manual process, but it is something that we can do, and it will come to our Cumulus platform, of course, and you will be able to do this autonomously. It's just to know that it is coming soon to Cumulus, and it is available in CSP right now.
Yeah, so it's going to be, again, like Alex said, this is something that's been clamored for years, but that 5% is there to kind of say, hey, well, look, I have a remote workforce. We're 10 people, but I have one in India, one in the UK, maybe one more in Canada, one in Argentina. Well, that's not going to be enough. As Alex mentioned, that 5% really is to not kind of have a cloud in every continent or every country for that matter. Yeah, so there is that small kind of criteria there. Again, hope makes sense of it all. Reach out if there's anything that we can do, or if you want to learn more about it. It really will be a pleasure for us. Now, I want to say something new and cool and fun that's coming out, or it just came out, I guess. I'm a little late. But Microsoft Intune Suites is a new update. And I'll follow in line. I think the way Alex set that up just now was great. Intune is essentially an MDM solution, so mobile device management, or a device management tool from Microsoft. What they've done now is to double down on this. So before, and historically, and it still is to an extent, very Microsoft centric. Now, what they're doing is they're opening it up to be able to accommodate or to support, rather, different devices, different endpoints, different OS as well, and adding in a couple extra or bonus features, if you will. So probably my favorite on here would be the remote help. This is something that we would have historically had to use some third party or some alternative solutions. Well, no longer. So now we can have this all in the Microsoft ecosphere, where again you can remote in. And this will also be applicable onto Android devices in the example. So again, we're getting out of the Microsoft OS only, but really across the board. So reducing the need or the dependence for 5-point solutions to be able to accomplish what Intune will soon be able to do.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a game changer in my mind, like the remote help option, because it does eliminate the need for certain third-party tools that partners were using to help end customers. Because as we all know, getting an end customer over the phone without seeing their screen or anything like that is very, very difficult. We've all done it with our in-laws. We all know this.
As a minimum, yeah.
So it's like having to be able to see and being able to actually, take over and do this all within the absolutely secure and compliant, Microsoft ecosystem is huge.
Big point. And again, even though specialty like the other devices that are now compatible and eligible as part of that management platform, again, it's a pretty good move from Microsoft. Again, really trying to corner in that space. So there are still, standalone options. So if we're looking at endpoint privilege management as an example, you can purchase these individual facets as standalones. Otherwise, Intune Plan 2 or the Intune Suite will become available to as add-ons to be able to increase the reach of Intune and your function, your capabilities in terms of supporting your customers.
And just to be clear, like you need to have Intune Plan 1 in order to get Intune Plan 2, right? It's a prerequisite.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not instead of. Okay.
No, I said yeah. So it's always an add-on. Always an add-on. Exactly. Nice, more cool stuff. Teams Premium. So I really hope most of you had a chance to hear about this one, namely because there's a pretty special deal going on just until tomorrow. So if you haven't jumped on this, please do. There is also a free trial. Teams Premium, though, if we were to summarize it, it is. So I'll summarize it kind of a la James, kind of in my way, and then we'll get through the Microsoft positioning around it. In my opinion, it is Microsoft's reaction to a space that has grown so much in the last 3 or 4 years. When we think of working from home, working with people across geographies, and even Alex and I happen to be in the same province, but we're hours apart, right? So this kind of remote work has really been a key focal point for Microsoft, as it has been for years, but really more so in the last 2 or 3. And then meetings is one area in which there was a particular type of virtual bombing that was happening with a unnamed competitor that may rhyme with Vroom, and then Microsoft, kind of leaning on that, leaning on the popularity of said platform, and then with some of the events that occurred to them earlier in the pandemic. Microsoft saw a real opening in the market in terms of meetings, how we can better collaborate more efficiently, more securely. And Teams Premium, just a few short years later, was launched. So for any of you who do leverage Microsoft Teams meetings, and I would definitely hope you do, if not, reach out. We'll gladly have one and kind of chat through it. But a great collaborative tool, one that we use very, very heavily here at Sherweb in particular. Essentially, this is now going to take your meeting experience, so the ability to have a one-to-one or a one-to-many, or even having 30 people in a meeting and all being able to conversate, share your screen, have some reactions, have breakout rooms, so you'll be able to go and have kind of a sidebar, a side conversation with one of your colleagues from said meeting. All of this functionality has just become ingrained into the way we work. And again, Teams is just looking to double down on that. So we're looking to get a more personalized experience, better intelligence from our meetings, and this is something that will definitely be. If you don't have AI fatigue yet, I'm really sorry, but just wait. It's only going to get a lot more interesting here going forward. And then security, I would definitely hope and imagine that many of you had security top of mind for the past 36 months at least here. There too, if not, if you're not an MSSP, if security is something that's kind of a little bit scary to you, we have various tools. We have many experts on staff, and then a great partner community as well. So if any of this is kind of foreign to you, again, don't be shy, reach out. Alex and I have some really, really cool friends. We'll definitely, again, help you piece this all together.
We did have a quick question on the last slide for Intune Plan 2. Do we have any idea of what the pricing is on this for the add-on? Because you said it's just an add-on, right? So do we know, like, retail?
Not myself, not here, but if we grab the name, or maybe you just want to drop your contact info in there, I will see how much we have so far and turn that around to you probably by end of day today.
Okay.
As though I don't have it offhand, unfortunately.
And for Teams Premium, that one with the 30% discount, the introductory price, it's 30% off of
off of MSRP.
Right, which is
10-ish Canada US thing. Yeah, it's $10 in either Canada or the US. I should probably know this.
I think that's what I read, like around $10 US.
Yeah, 10 US. Okay, that's perfect then. So yeah, about a $3 savings for the duration of the term. So that's also important. If you adhere to an annual, let's say to a monthly commit, well, you'll have your 30% for that term, for that 30-day term rather. If you commit to annual, then you'll have that discount through the duration of your term and then revert to regular pricing at the end thereof. So there is so again, one more day. There is a free trial also available. I believe it's 25 licenses, memory serves, that you can try for 30 days. Again, I would maybe suggest at this point to go through with the promotional offer, just because it expires tomorrow.
Yeah, as long as you create one with at least one seat, and you have that introductory price until the end of that term. One thing that I find from Teams Premium that I heard feedback from is anyone in the legal vertical has found the intelligent recaps and the notes from the meeting to be just absolutely delightful. That it just takes away so much work from them, and it's just so nice to know that it's all already sorted with the highlights, the places that you want to look at, because some of those legal proceedings via Teams can drag on for quite some time.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, in Teams or not, that is not a career for me. But definitely, yeah. So the personalization, the intelligence, and the security are definitely big values. I'm really happy to hear some of that feedback. I know last I heard about it, that the intelligent recap was launching and hadn't necessarily hit all tenants yet. So I'm happy to hear that it's in place or in practice already. And hey, that's what it was designed to do, right? So Microsoft is, they at times they may stumble in the first half step out of the gate, but once they get their feet set, usually we're all in for some pretty good stuff. So looking at the personalization or the customization aspect of it, so a couple three points here. A couple, I guess, my favorite ones on top of that. The ability to have a meeting template. So this is pretty cool. If you know it's going to be a sales call, if you know it's going to be a support call, well, you can have a different structure to set invite. So you don't have to kind of create a new invite from scratch every single time or run off the default every single time, but you can really have these templates in place. A user would require the Teams Premium license to be able to leverage that feature, but once licensed, little time savings, right? If it's 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there, you'll find yourself with a few minutes the more you leverage these tools. The branding, this is definitely my favorite part of it here, of the personalized section. So here, just being able to brand it. So it's something really small, but joining a Teams meeting, or if you look at one of the other vendors out there, it's all the same, right? We're all just buying the software and it's all the same. But once you start to get your logo, you get your brand colors into there. Well, now it's not just another meeting experience. This is a tailored Sherweb presented meeting experience, and it definitely gives kind of a leg up as opposed to one of, no, yeah, gosh forbid, one of the consumer tools out there. This is going to really kind of cement your investment, your commitment to your customers, by acknowledging that there's a certain amount of appearance to what we do, and having that put together speaks volumes. And go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say the Teams Premium itself, that one is also a separate SKU, right? Like some of those features were included in Teams. Now they create Teams Premium, and the only way to get it is with the add-on, right? It's not included as part of the E5 or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely an add-on in all cases. Yeah. Really, really great question. Yeah. Absolutely. And the last one here is for the have custom backgrounds again. So it's little bits of connecting this, right? So we're using an alternate platform here today, but we are getting really close to launching this Team Stream for us internally. Just lots of checks and balances here internally. But essentially having a unified background across our team. Again, it's really small things. I think Alex's backgrounds and his books look a lot smarter than me and my family pictures. But so the personalization is what Alex and I kind of go off, again, given our roles. But let's say for maybe a customer service, for a sales team, a support team, having a unified background, when you're speaking with Sherweb, because we have our trademarked white and blue background with our fancy new logo design. It's small things, but it goes a long way in terms of perception. And Microsoft understands that as well as any of us here. So,
well, just think of like any sports team that goes out onto the court, the pitch, or the ice. If they all had different jerseys, it wouldn't have the same impact that they have right now with all the same, type of presentation.
Yep. Absolutely, that's so cool. Yeah. There's I watched show Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and there's a whole episode on that about how wearing a tie is the uniform, and that means you're together and you're a team, and it's not the tie so much as a team, and so yeah, absolutely, it definitely changes the feel. Here's what Alex kind of was mentioning there about the intelligence, right? So getting those recaps, so that's going to be to the right. Search intelligently with suggested speakers. So that means like Alex and I can be in a meeting. I can have to, and a colleague, let's say there's three of us, I have to leave for whatever reason halfway through. Well, I can go back to this meeting recap. I can search, see when my name was mentioned. As Alex mentioned, we can get a cheat sheet. So just kind of whether it be through automated chapters or to-dos. So a recap as terms of James said he would do this. Alex said James would do that. Well, now at the end of it, I can just go back. Okay, what do I have to do here? Oh, and without having to go to my manual note takings, I mean, OneNote. I'm so sorry. Well, now I can actually get this in real time, where you'd expect it to be in your team's environment. So again, just getting more efficient, doing more with less. Right? We still have that same one person, but if I can take notes while actively listening and definitely not replying to the emails at the same time, well, by all means, and then we're all a day ahead.
Yeah, it's getting to your destination a lot faster, right? You can walk from Boston to New York. You can do it, but it's much faster to go with a car, right? So it's going to be the same thing. You can look through all the notes and find the important things that were related to you, or you can take the AI.
Yeah, that's it. And please take the AI. Yeah, so that's definitely going to be kind of our suggestion there. But again, leverage that free trial, right? Go and play with it. You'll see what the difference is. And then you'll be able to more confidently propose that to customers when you see there is that need. And also the last thing here is the live translation for captions. So this is something that is available on Microsoft Teams. It will be moving into the premium side of things. So do be mindful there if there's any features that are missing. Yeah, there's some great links online from Microsoft as well, just kind of outlining the difference between Teams, call it standalone, or Teams regular versus Teams premium, as well as the timeline for which features will be moving from one to the other. Last but not least, we're looking at the security, right? So it's top of mind, so I've saved it for last. A couple pretty nifty little features. So we're looking at end-to-end encryption for meetings. This is up to 50 participants in your meeting, but that'll be encrypted the whole way through. The sensitivity labels as well. So this is something that we can say, let's say for a credit card, would be maybe an example. Anytime we type in a credit card number, it would have a sensitivity label applied. And it would then say, hey, James, are you sure you want to send this credit card number in an email? So we can leverage some of these as part of the meeting functionality as well. And then the watermarking. So this is also a pretty nifty one. So this would be in the event that Alex and I, let's say we're having a company meeting, so the whole company is in here. They're sharing some of our roadmap, let's say for FY24 coming up for us. And I screenshot that and I post it on some random Reddit forum. Well, now with this feature having been enabled and having been set up, they'll be able to see that this watermark across here will actually display my name. So the person who actually took the screenshot, there's no more anonymity. You can post the picture at your own detriment or to your, at your own risk. So again, really cool features to help mitigate any data loss and keeping what's ours.
Yep, I find that the recording, limiting who can record, is actually going to become more and more pertinent. Just the audio itself, right? Because of all the new AI tools that can use a recording and then create, a convincing text, from that same voice. So you don't want to have, your customers' CEOs being spoofed,
Yeah.
for things like that.
Oh man, AI could be it's gonna be a lot of fun going forward, no matter what happens. But yeah, so again, so we're just covering kind of 3 or 4 features here, 3 features for each, but there's definitely a little bit more to it. We did grab some of these shots here. Now, if we're looking at meetings, so again, this is kind of the link I was referring to earlier. If you see what's included in Teams versus Teams Premium, you can see that Microsoft is really investing in this side of the house. So imagine the attendees view will become a Teams Premium only feature. The integration with Dynamics that will stay across the board, which is really great also. Any Dynamics users definitely do look into Microsoft Teams because, again, just the power of AI, what Microsoft is doing here is impeccable. Concerning might be another word that I'd have for some of us in the sales role, but impeccable or incredible would be definitely 2 others in terms of what's possible. I just think it's all really cool. Nice. So now when we again we're talking about our value add. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah. So we kind of touched on how AI is part of everything now. So now let's get really into AI with everything that is coming out from Microsoft. Some of the things you may have known about. So I'm really going to focus on the insights that we want to bring you on this. So we're kind of going to go somewhat fast through the slides if you want to get going.
So yeah, I just wanted to stop really quick. Yeah, just because again, value add, right? It's how can we simplify, how can we make things better? So insights is absolutely a really big part of what we like to bring to the table. Making your day easier. So not just kind of helping you to be more efficient and stay on top of things, but just simplifying what it is you get to do. Insert Office Protect. Office Protect for M365. This is a product that we developed in house that we definitely see a continued growth and a really strong adoption, especially for those who have tried it. We have free NFRs, and then you'll see how easy it is to apply settings across your Microsoft tenants or across your multiple customers, leveraging templates, having a much more simplified view. So that would be our Office Protect Core product. And recently launched is our Office Protect Alliance. Here we actually include now a 24/7 SOC to be able to a security operations center to be able to help you manage. So maybe you're a 3 or a 5 or a 10-person shop or a 100-person shop and you have 1,000 customers. Well, sifting through all the alerts from Microsoft can be a task or a chore. Having that simplified and an easily viewable digest, easily actionable digest with a security team monitoring and even taking actions on your behalf is a game changer. So it's kind of the look bigger than you are or be bigger than you are currently. And we can help here. And then again, once you get a chance to chat with us about it and you see their pricing, I think you're really going to appreciate the offer that much more. If you're thinking 24/7 SOC and you have $15 per user in your head, definitely not a crazy thought whatsoever. But do reach out because I think we'll be able to wow your socks off with what we have in this offer here. Good, and just to speak a little bit more to it, we're looking at primarily on the Microsoft side, or mainly on the Microsoft side, so 365, Defender for Office as well. Some Teams functionality is recently built in here as well. So again, a really great product that's constantly evolving as Microsoft does. We're going to expand there as well, and just look to help simplify all aspects of tenant management, mainly from a security standpoint. Again, together and very affordably so. Yeah, it's kind of my Office Protect. It's kind of me just distilling it off the cuff here, but my favorite parts. I think I mentioned a few times throughout it. What do you think, Alex? If you had to say it again and without repeating everything there, but
It really is. It's the alarm system that goes with all of the other security features you put on your house.
wish I could have said that. but that's absolutely it. Stay alert, stay informed. Speaking of, this is my best act of the segue here. Speaking of staying alert and staying informed, now we'll talk a little bit more about AI, as it really is the next big thing. And Alex has many, many thoughts, some of them around AI, and he'll share them with us.
Yeah, and I'll try again, like to condense what's going on. So we've all heard of ChatGPT. We've all heard of other AI tools coming. There's Bard from Google as well. There's Bing that has the GPT-4 included in it. So you may have heard as well of Microsoft Copilot. We have some links for the videos for Microsoft Copilot, how it works with the different things in the Microsoft ecosystem. The first thing I want to mention about it is that Microsoft 365 Copilot is not ChatGPT. Right? It uses large language models such as GPT. It also uses other large language models such as DALL-E or DaVinci, depending if you're needing to do some code or some image generation. So it is not the Microsoft version of ChatGPT, but it is the Microsoft version of generative AI to be kind of harnessed to help improve your productivity and remove a lot of the drudgery that is part of your day. The way it's going to work, how it's going to be different, is that it's going to be on about your data. So it's not going to be searching the web, searching Wikipedia, the subreddits that are still open or anything like that for information. It really wants to look at your data that's on the Microsoft Graph. What's the Microsoft Graph? It's anything that's connected to Microsoft on the cloud. And how it's going to relate that to you is going to be through the Microsoft 365 apps. So on the next slide, I think it's a little bit more of a description of what it's about, right? So it's supposed to unleash creativity. So if you've ever had, kind of like the blank page syndrome, whenever you have to start writing like an article, an email, or something like that, those days will be gone. You will have some prompts from Copilot, on any given instance. Like if you're creating a PowerPoint, if you're creating an email, if you're writing a Word document, all you'll have to do is click one thing, and then you'll have those starter topics, those starter points. Unlock productivity. This one, with the up-leveling of the skills, I think is going to be a huge part because of the fact that maybe some of you, like me, aren't that great at PowerPoint or Excel, right? And then you spend a lot of time struggling using colorful language to try to get the slide to look like you want it to, and it's taking you, hours. And obviously, like it's because you don't have that skill. Like there is a way in PowerPoint or Excel to get exactly what you want to be done, just like that. You just don't know it. Well, now you'll be able to use natural language, the way you and I talk, to be able to ask Copilot to get that done for you. So I intend to become an Excel wizard after Copilot is going to come out, because there's so many things I've been wanting to do, but I just can't get it done by myself without help. And I think, yeah, if you go on the next slide, So this is the one where we have the links to the videos, how Microsoft 365 Copilot works. It's pretty much the mashup of an example of Copilot with each productivity tool. So Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, Teams, and all of that. And then on the right side, introducing Microsoft Syntax, it does show how, like the underlying of this technology, if you will, and how Microsoft is using it, and how it's not the same thing as a consumer product where you have to be kind of worried about what you're entering for your prompts. Are other people going to see my prompts? Are they going to access my company data? It doesn't work that way. It's just what you're going to see and how it works is the same thing that like the Word document that you have open when you're typing something on the Word document, you're not worried that this is going to Microsoft data centers because you're using Word. So the Copilot is going to be the product itself. It's not going to be a service that needs access to your data and feeds it to Microsoft or any other government agency or anything like that. So compliance and security and privacy are the forefront for these tools. As far as licensing is concerned, trying to anticipate some of those questions, what we know right now is that for at least to be able to use some of the features, it's going to be a prerequisite to have business standard and probably business premium. But from some of the videos that I've seen and documentation, it really does seem that if you want the full experience, you're going to have to be on M365 E3 or E5 because it does leverage some advanced services within Microsoft that right now is only used for compliance, but will kind of encompass Copilot as well. If we want to keep going. So the big part now, right? What can partners do now to prepare? Because Microsoft Inspire is upcoming mid to late July. We're likely going to get some sort of dates, or at least like a calendar year or an update or something like that from it. So what can we do in the meantime, between now and then? So Microsoft has come up with a lot of different assets for partners. We've kind of put it like on this first slide, a little, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So get all of the material, get the decks from Microsoft to be get AI ready, get familiar with the AI blog, the different promotions that are going on, especially the one on the M365 E3. Do attend some of the SMB Masters program. One of them, is being run by our own James Welburn, that has the SMB Masters as well for that. So do attend some of those so you can kind of get to understand the lingo and what we're going after and how to talk to end customers about this. But for the other things, as far as what we at Sherweb specifically think that you should start talking to your end customers about is some kind of basic things that we can deduce, from the upcoming tools, right? So the first one is that those AI tools, Copilot, for example, is not going to be able to talk to Salesforce or to HubSpot or to Google Drive or to Dropbox or to Adobe. It's going to be some things that are going to have to come in later, like those integrations, those add-ons to be able to talk across technology platforms. So knowing that, it would be important to consolidate everything on the same technology stack so that you have that advantage on day one of everything working properly. You don't want to have a car that's built with an engine from one manufacturer, the chassis from another, the tires from somewhere else and all that, and expect everything to work. You want to buy it from one company, the whole product done, right? So it's kind of like that same idea. If you're going to want to use the Microsoft suite of Copilot, have everything on the Microsoft stack so that it all talks to each other right away. Second point about this, AI, keep in mind that there's a lot of sci-fi movies out there where whenever the singularity, the AI comes, then they're all knowing already and all that. No, it's not how it's going to work with the Copilot tools. They're going to need to be trained, right? Just picture the recent university grad that you're hiring that has perfect spelling, never makes any mistakes on whenever they're counting or anything like that. And they come into your work company, like they still don't know anything about your company, so they can't help right away. You have to train them. So it's a little bit like that with the AI tools, and how you can make sure that they're going to be ready to be trained is by, again, having everything that you wanted the AI to be trained on to be on that same platform. So, for example, if you're using something other than Teams right now for your customer meetings, your customer interactions as an end customer, and then you want to use Copilot for Teams, it's not going to have any of that data from those customer meetings, right? Even if you choose to move to Teams on day one from Copilot, well, it's still not going to have any historical data that you've had with your end customers. So it's a good idea to start right away to use the Microsoft stack if you are planning to use Copilot, which I believe is pretty much everyone is going to want to use this. There's going to be, in my mind, there's going to be two types of companies in the future: companies that use AI and companies that went out of business. So it's pretty much a must for this. So you want those tools to have a wow for your end customers. You want them to be happy, purchasing that. It's going to be like, it's going to meet their expectations. So for that to happen, you want everything to be on the same technology stack. If they've had a server, on-prem that's in a closet somewhere that, has a lot of their customer data for the last 10 years, and there've never been any compelling reasons to move it to the cloud before, well, now you have one. If you want to be able to get some insights from all of that data that you've kept, you want it to be in the cloud now. And it's there's lots of ways to do that, whether it's putting it on OneDrive or in Azure somewhere. There's lots of ways to get that done, and now is the time. Like, for a lot of us, like, we've gone through COVID, we've gone through shifting to remote work overnight. So a lot of MSP partners that had been trying to convince customers for a long time to start using those cloud tools, all of a sudden it was the opposite, right? Like, all the customers were calling, I need to get on the cloud, I need to get on the cloud. So you don't want to have that kind of crunch when those features go GA. You don't want to have to do migration projects at the same time as you're teaching people how to use these tools. So get started now. You want to pack your boxes now before the movers come, not when the truck's in the driveway, right? And then a third point, I'm going kind of fast because we did go pretty long, is that all of these AI tools, as we've seen from what James was talking about, Teams Premium, it's an add-on. Intune, Plan 2, it's an add-on. All of these tools that are going to leverage features from AI, they're going to be premium tools. So if you're currently using, if your customers are using a technology stack that includes 3, 4, 5 different vendors, well, you could see their bill, increase dramatically because they're going to have to upgrade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different products. So it would be a good idea to kind of revisit, what your technology stack is and how you can consolidate those services on the same stack so that your customers don't suffer multiple price increases on that. And one way Sherweb can help with that is that whenever we run the partner consultations and we help partners understand their partner center and what their customers are doing, how they can get points for solutions designations, we also get access to those reports from the customer data. What are they using as part of their services? So if as a partner you have a customer that says, yep, we use Teams, we're Teams, shop, and now we don't use anything else, and then you see in the report that 1 out of 30 people is using Teams, you now know that there's a problem. There's some shadow IT going on. People are probably using unsecure, messaging processes, and that could, open them up for attacks, hacks, and things like that. And though when those AI tools, actually come out, it's not only going to be available for the good guys, right? So the bad guys are going to be using AI tools as well. So we're going to see a lot of new attack vectors that we can't even fathom right now. So it's going to be very important to be using best security practices and to be aware of what your end customers are doing. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell for a few points. I can talk about this for hours. So if you want to book me for a call, any partner listening to this on the call, it's all the different things that you can do and you can leverage it. And I think it's just because end customers are very, kind of excited or scared or nervous. There's a lot of energy going on with this, and people are getting, fatigue or antsy right now. Like, what can we do and all that? Well, here's what you can do. Do this. Get prepared. Get going. Look at those reports month to month. See if everyone is using Teams meetings and Teams messages, if they're putting their documents on SharePoint and all of that. so that when those SKUs do come out, they have that wow experience. Like from the get, they don't stumble.
Yeah. And again, like I was purposely kind of just like letting that soak in, because it's right. There's a lot of noise out there around this. We know it's coming. We know it's coming really, really fast. But just kind of like, apart from just kind of waiting until we have more, firm dates or guarantees in terms of the functionality. Yeah, there are steps. So I thought that was really insightful there when we were speaking about this internally. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing, man, for putting the good word out there, because again, it's how do we stay ahead?
Yeah. And then again, we did a more comprehensive slide of all the resources that are available to CSP partners from Microsoft, right? So you have like the whole kind of pitch deck available. You can talk about Defender for Business. You can talk about Lighthouse, E3, and so forth, and even like different Forrester studies, for those types of customers that want to see studies and reports about the potential growth, of companies that are going to use AI. So it's all there. And then if you want to go even further and have more in-depth discussions, again, we're here for you. We want to be your partner, right?
Yeah, and it's not like I know it's not work, and yeah, of course, it is work. It is, just to be really honest here. But it's actually something that it's exciting, like genuinely. I guess for Alex, myself, and Sam, another member of our sales team here, we work with very closely. Our Microsoft sales team, that is. It's actually something that we enjoy. So as much as it's work, and yeah, 9 to 5 reach us, like this is genuinely something that actually means something, both for us professionally, and for what the future of work for Alex and myself have kids out here. So like, what's work in the workplace gonna be like in the next couple of years, right? So again, yeah, we'll shoot the proverbial breeze with you anytime on any of this stuff. And again, you will have all these links you can dig into and additionally inform yourself as to what you should be up to or what you could be up to.
I think we're coming up on the full hour. Are we? If you want to run through that very quickly, yeah.
Oh yeah, super quick. So where we're going to be, so in person. So I will, as Alex mentioned, I'll be actually in Vancouver next week. So anyone on the West Coast, please do come by, say hi. We're there for 2 days going through SMB Masters. A great event, and you'll see a link. Sorry, jump around here. There's an SMB workshop somewhere
slides
here.
earlier.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, so there's SMB workshops. Essentially, sorry for jumping around, everyone. Essentially, what it is a 2-day workshop, sales and training, sales and technical training, that is, covering all things Microsoft. Something that we'd encourage all of you to replicate, maybe in a lesser format, maybe looking at an hour. But we find this really endearing, in terms of providing knowledge and demonstrating value to our partners, but equipping them and helping them understand as to what's coming next, what they could be doing, like Alex just walked us through for the AI portion. Do leverage these types of workshops. It is a great way for you to demonstrate, again, your knowledge, expertise, and we'll gladly support in any way we can. That being said, though, for next week here, just kind of keeping my blinders on, we will be in Vancouver for 2 days, looking to know anything about Microsoft. I wouldn't say it's an expert technical, nor will be an expert sales, but varying shades of both throughout. The feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. We had the privilege of being in 3 different cities, it's all a blur, in the last couple of weeks. Hundreds of people that we've gotten a chance to meet and connect with, and the feedback has been overwhelmingly, and I'm the last guy to toot my own horn here, but like very overwhelmingly positive in terms of the value perceived or value received. So again, do look us up there. Last note, then I promise to let you all go. Microsoft Inspire, as Alex mentioned, is coming up later on this month. If you do get a chance, tune in on July 17th, that Modern Work pre-day, as 2 of your friends, I don't know which side Alex is here, but 2 of us, we may or may not be in that Modern Work pre-day. So definitely do take a look. It is all good things coming from Microsoft, July 18th and 19th. We do expect a lot around Copilot, evidently. Security remains top of mind, Microsoft Teams, and then sustainability, as Alex was talking about the earth shifting. on its axis here. So how can we be a part? How can we leverage the intelligence that we have at our fingertips to kind of alleviate what it might be? And so I put this slide here just in case
Yeah.
I got lost in conversation there, but it's the equivalent of the Oscar music. So thank you guys all so much, guys and girls and folks in attendance here, to our amazing team for putting this together. Nick, Randa, my heart's forever with you guys. And Alex and Sam, obviously just knocking it out of the park as you do.
And thanks to you too.
Just the guy in blue. But yeah, no, and for all of our partners and customers watching this here, if you're not a partner yet, do reach out. We'll be happy to kind of tell you what we're all about here, and kind of trying is believing is the way I see this here, and we're going to earn. We're going to earn the growth going forward. So thank you all again. 1 minute over time. My marketing team, I'm really sorry.
Have a great one, everybody. Cheers.
Bye, everyone.